So in this video we are talking about what is the blue flame, the sphere of Amenti, and the Ark of the Covenant, and how they relate with Ascension and with Andromeda, and why Andromeda is so important for us right now. Hello everyone, my name is Valeria, and in this channel I talk about spirituality and esoterics. So 25 million of years ago the blue flame was created, and this blue flame was a portion of the earth when the earth was in the fifth dimension, okay? Tara, if you want. And this is of this blue color, as blue is associated with the fifth dimensional frequencies, and it also includes frequencies from dimensions number 4 and 6, okay? And this is stored at the center of the sphere of Amenti, and it's like this wave pattern, this blue flame, okay? It's like several inches high. So this blue flame is a portal passage to the earth in the fifth dimension, and this includes some passages that allowed to go to the earth like before the falling, and also allowed to go to some possible futures of the earth, you know. And now it is going to allow us to go to the fourth density into M31 Andromeda, okay? So here we can start to understand why Andromeda is so important. It's like our path of ascension actually right now, okay? So the sphere of Amenti stores this blue flame, okay? And through this we had access to the blue flame in Egyptian and Atlantean times. So for example, the ankhs and different objects were charged with these fifth dimensional frequencies. So when we go 849,000 years ago, this sphere of Amenti was removed from the earth, okay, and was stored in the Andromeda galaxy, and was there until the end of the 1,000 years war, like 88,000 years ago. So the third seeding, and we right now are part of this third seeding. So this third seeding, this could not happen directly through the Earth's core, as you know, the morphogenetic field was now on Andromeda, okay? So it's like the passage that was used for the second seeding was not useful anymore, okay? And we needed a new passage between Andromeda and the Earth, and here is when and why the Ark of the Covenant was created, okay? 140,000, and was created as a passage between the Earth's core and the second dimension and M31 Andromeda, and was used to store the sphere of Amenti until it was safe, okay, to return it to the Earth's core. So the idea was for the sphere to descend to the Earth when the Earth's core was on a higher vibration, okay? And when I talk about Atlantis and Egypt, it was through this Ark of the Covenant, through this passage, that the objects were charged, okay, with the blue flame. So this is also important. It was thanks to the Ark of the Covenant that we were able to access the sphere of Amenti and then these blue flame frequencies, okay? So thanks to that we had the original template of the sphere of Amenti, and we passed like consciousness to the second dimension, because being birthed on the earth, you know. So we were able to come from the 5th dimension for the 3rd seeding, but we were not able to return to the 5th dimension unless our DNA was ready, was activated and ready for that, okay? And that was part of the Ascension teachings, actually, the teachings about physical ascension, and that was happening, okay? Those teachings were happening on Atlantis and Egypt, mostly in the pyramids and the catacombs, okay? Then, talking about more recent times, on 1988, for example, the sphere of Amenti returned to the Earth's core. That happened, and then this cycle of 12 years began, okay? So this sphere of Amenti returned to the Earth's core, to the 2nd dimension, and this started to transmit frequencies into the grids of the Earth, okay? And the idea was that then that this cycle of 12 years was going to start, in which the sphere of Amenti starts to open progressively its frequencies into the grids of the Earth, okay? Into the Earth's core, into the morphogenetic field, and the idea was that then from year 2000 we were going to enter and start this cycle, this other cycle, in which we were going to receive activations. So the idea was that the blue flame would begin its 12-year descent to the Earth between 2000 and 2012, okay? And people were going to be able to ascend into Tara, or the Earth in the 5th dimension, on 2012, okay? And of course that didn't happen because on 2011 the blue flame, the sphere of Amenti, the Ark of the Covenant were removed from the core of the Earth, and they were moved to the center of Andromeda, okay, of M31, the galaxy, to a specific planet that is in the future there, okay, is in year 3033, okay, and was under the protection of a shield, okay, and this shield is sometimes called the Blue Lotus, and that is super interesting. It is related with the actual Blue Lotus, like the medicine, okay? I wanna make a specific video for that because what I have seen in the records about that is super interesting, okay? So if the ascension failed in the way that we were trying to ascend, we had then like this plan B, you know, and that was activated. So there was a reason for this Ark of the Covenant and the sphere to be removed from the Earth, and of course that was for our safety and the safety of the Earth, okay? As we started to be really attacked, like especially the grids of the Earth, okay, some really dark stuff was running through the grids of the Earth, okay? So these past years we have been really kind of restoring the grids, okay, like step by step. And this is also about working with our DNA, okay? Because when we do that, we are actually helping the grids, okay? It's not that we have to travel, for example, in order to help the grids, you know? And of course you can travel if you want, but okay, so on year 2021 we had an important activation related with this shield, with this Blue Lotus, okay? So the thing is that the sphere and the blue flame, okay, are going to be again available for us through this passage that goes to M31 Andromeda, to the planet that is there. And that is really good news, you know. And we have to pass through the sphere in order to leave this system of 12 dimensions. So the Ark of the Covenant, this passage, would be now on the second dimension of the planet that is on Andromeda, okay? Like on the core of the planet, like when we talk about the Earth's core, but on the planet that is on Andromeda, okay? So we are slowly regaining access to those frequencies and the morphogenetic field. So Andromeda is really important for us right now. We need to connect more with Andromeda and understand how we are actually super related to Andromeda, probably the same as with Lyrans, probably even more than with Pleiadians and Arcturians, you know. People to talk a lot about Pleiadians and Arcturians, and I understand that, but yes, this is about understanding the importance of our connection to Andromeda. So in this video I talk about Andromeda on the really different levels, like the different star systems of Andromeda and how T relates with Ascension, and so much more of her mysteries. Okay, so I really recommend you to watch this video, and thank you so much for being here today.